And good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network. As always, I am Frank Granito, and I am joined in studio today by Mr. Donald Eng. Don, missed you on coffee break this morning, but I'm glad to have you back for Nutmeg.
Yeah, well, excellent work on the history. It's always interesting for me when I get to see someone else do it.
I was a little upset you left out that it's Mick Jagger's birthday today, but we'll let that one slide. We've got a great show lined up today. The Connecticut Open second round is underway down at Woodway Country Club. We've got some Olympic hopeful news to talk about, baseball, and a lot more. But Don, I'm very excited to welcome a guest to the show right now, and we are very lucky to be joined by the new athletic director at Trinity Catholic High School, Mr. Bob Roselli. Bob, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your day. And obviously, let me start by saying congratulations. What a tremendous honor being named the athletic director at your alma mater. What does that mean to you to have this title now?
It means a lot, to be honest with you. You never leave. We never left our high school, our family, our kids, our people that went to the alumni. We stay with it. We believe in it. There's a passion for it. There's the religious aspect. There's the family aspect. I went back. I started coaching about 5 years ago. In the meantime, I've been on boards. I've been on advanced committees, and lastly, the field committee for the last 5 years. So it means a lot. It's something that I look at and I say, it'll be nice to give back another 10, 12 years to the school and hopefully do a great job for them.
And you obviously are no stranger to Stanford Athletics and been a part of the school. You've coached at the Springdale Little League now for the past 33 years. You've been with Trinity as an assistant baseball coach the past 4. What was it that led to this transition, really, where you got to this position now?
I think it was something that was meant to be, and it was something that along the way, it was kind of like predetermined that I would end up here. I started in Little League when I was 30, many years ago, and I just stayed there and loved every aspect of the Little League baseball. At times, I'd always go back to Trinity, and I'd always be going to baseball games, football games, basketball games. Never left that, but my coaching was down on the younger level, and I always wanted to end my coaching career in baseball at a high school, in the FCAC. So I always watched. I watched what was going on, and nothing was breaking because of Tracy being there for so long. The Stanford High job, I did initially have the Stanford High baseball job about 2 years ago, but the union took that away from me based on a grievance by another coach. So I lost that. So all of a sudden, sitting back, wondering what the heck I'm going to do, because I always wanted to be in high schools, this athletic director job came open, and my wife said to me, Bob, this is the reason why everything else didn't pan out. You are supposed to be at this high school doing the athletic directorship job for this school. So it really feels like I belong, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to be there.
Well, Bob, you talk about coming to Trinity and how that's kind of the natural order of things. You're arriving at the school at an interesting time. You're in the middle of a big renovation project down there at Trinity. What's the status of the project right now?
Well, the turf field, for years, we were the only field, the only school within the FCAC that did not have a turf field. Committee started looking at it about 4 or 5 years ago. We raised money, and right now it is to the point where I was just there today. I just left it about an hour ago. The carpet, the turf is halfway down. It'll be another 2 weeks to get that done. Then it's getting ready with the bleachers, the press box, scoreboard is already up, and then the landscaping of the property. So it's an exciting time. The field really is starting to look awesome. It gives the back of the school where our football and softball and baseball fields are located a very different look. The softball field has been redone, and after we get the turf field done and the softball field done, we'll start looking at the baseball field, and then hopefully looking at facilities. But the turf field gives us many, many more options in the way of hopefully looking at getting more scholar athletes there. We're not a public school. We do charge the Catholic religion for the parochial school charges. So, it's a different set of circumstances, but we're all very excited about where we are with the field and what's going on at the school, not only in athletics but also in academics. So the school is really making a jump forward, which I think we needed, and I'm glad to be a part of it at this time.
Okay, now.
Go ahead, Don.
I was going to say, all right. So that's the status of the facilities at Trinity Catholic. What would you say? What would you say are your goals for the Crusaders on the field? They have a nice. You guys are going to have nice fields, nice facilities now. What are your goals for the teams that are actually competing on those fields?
Well, jumping into it initially, I think the main priority is to try to change the culture a little bit and get some more excitement into all the programs. Our football program in the last three years has been a pretty good football program. We're a smaller school in the FCAC, but that doesn't bother us because we know who we are and we know what we need to do. Our basketball team has always been competitive. Our baseball teams in the past have been competitive. Last year was a tough year. Hopefully this year will be better. But it's also about the lesser sports, what we call the lesser sports and what we can't call the lesser sports anymore. We have to get our soccer programs up to par, both boys and girls. We have to get our girls volleyball program better. We need to get the lacrosse better, up and running, and the girls tennis, girls soccer. So there's a lot of work to do, but what I want to instill in these coaches and in these players is basically a couple of things. One, try hard, get yourself in shape, be competitive, and never quit. You start doing that, you start trying hard, you start being competitive, you start winning a couple of games here and there, all of a sudden programs turn around, and that's what we need to do in some of our other programs.
And obviously, there's a lot of tradition and a rich history of success in athletic accomplishments that go all the way back to the Stanford Catholic days when you were there, Bob. You brought up a really good point that the new field you hope allows you to expand a little bit with the class sizes. You guys are one of the smaller schools in one of the largest and most competitive conference in the state. How do you guys keep up now with these other schools in the FCAC, like the Darians, the Greenwiches, the Danburys, that are so much bigger than a Trinity Catholic?
Well, again, in some sports we do. In others we do not. Our enrollment is a situation that we do need to get that up, but that's a combination of academics and athletics. That's not just athletics. The one thing that is out there that I don't hear all the time is that we might graduate smaller classes than the bigger schools, but when our high school graduates 130 kids, 98 to 99% of those kids go to college, go to good colleges. That's a pretty good percentage. And I know that we're small. I think the smallness hurts you sometimes with your numbers, but as you start to grow your numbers in enrollment, your numbers in athletics will increase, and hopefully by getting your programs a little bit better in your athletic side, you start bringing more kids there, which conversely helps your academic side. So I think it's a combination of the whole school working together, the whole school having that family feeling, that whole school having that green and gold spirit that you need to accomplish what is good for the kids.
And it is a really good point and a great point you make about the academic side of it, because it really goes unnoticed at times, even at the high school level, especially in such a competitive conference like the FCAC. I've got to ask you though, Bob, is there one sport in particular now that you're excited to get out there and see once this fall season starts?
I I'll be honest with you. You know, you asked me that question, and you know, I'm sitting here, and my answer would be no. I mean, I love football. I love baseball. I love basketball. You know, soccer, hockey. I'm a guy who likes sports. I think that your three major sports, if that's what people are going to call them, your baseball, football, and basketball, I think at times, not that they take care of themselves in a parochial school because you're always searching for the ball players, but I think they're easier than your other sports. Your other sports is something that you really have to that I really have to now delve into and work with the coaches and the players to make those better and to make them more competitive. Football's in my blood. My father played in the NFL for years. He's Hall of Fame. It's in my blood. But I'm a baseball coach. I love baseball. I played basketball at Trinity Catholic, and we won the FCX when I was a senior. I mean, I'm going back 40 years, but those are things that you remember, and those are things that we want our ball players now and our ball players, both male and female, to remember when they're older that they accomplished that they did this, that they won the first game on the turf field, whatever it may be. Those things have to be positive things to make what you do right.
Well, that's it's well said, and I'm excited to see what Trinity Catholic brings to the field this year. Like you said, football is trending up right now. Basketball, they're always there. I'm excited to see what happens with the other sports that haven't been traditionally as big, but I think it's a great hire, Bob. Congratulations again, and I want to thank you for coming on and joining us today.
I want to thank both of you. It's been a pleasure, and if there's anything I could do to help you guys out, you let me know, please.
Well, hopefully we will see you week 1. We've got that game marked on our calendar. We'd like to be there when you unveil the stadium against New Canaan this fall.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Bob. Once again, that was Bob Roselli, the new athletic director at Trinity Catholic. And Don, I like how he talks about you've got your big 3 sports that have had success. It's building up the other ones now.
Right. I mean, you know, it's all you can always. There's always kids out there that want to play football and basketball and baseball. But then you have the other sports. You know, like the like volleyball, tennis, sports like that kids, even when they come to the school, don't even really think of themselves as being an interscholastic athlete. But that at a smaller school like that, you get them into the program and you just and you develop them, and that's really part of the challenge of being an athletic director at a school the size of Trinity.
It is, and you wouldn't expect it or think it, but one of their bigger rivals, or one of the games they should be focused on, would be a St. Joseph, because that's the school in the conference that you most resemble. That's going to be the same class, the same kind of size, that same private school feel to it. But you're talking about Stanford to Trumbull now, and you just don't get that true high school rivalry feel.
Well, you really don't, but in many ways you should. And in many ways, St. Joseph is where Trinity wants to be. I mean, if you go back 10 years ago, St. Joseph was playing on antiquated Darling Field, and now they have the beautiful facilities that Trinity aspires to have in the next couple of years. So the two schools are separated by geographically, but really philosophically and academically and athletically, they're a lot closer than people think.
And Trinity now becomes the last school to make the switch from grass to field turf. We want to thank Bob Roselli again. Congratulations, and we wish him and all his athletic programs the best of luck. Don and I will take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. When we get back, we'll take a look at some of the golf action that's going on at Woodway Country Club right now, and a little bit more right here on the HAN Network.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning.
Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. My property taxes on my single-family home were close to $20,000 a year. Now that I've downsized and I'm in a townhome, and because of the condo tax laws, my fees have gone from $20,000 down to about $5,300 with the star exemption. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. this is where I want to be.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
And we welcome you back to Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network along with Donald Eng. I am Frank Granito here on this Tuesday, July 26th episode. And Don, we got the PGA Championship coming up this weekend at Baltusrol, so great chance for us to take a look at what's going on right now at Woodway Country Club, where the 82nd Connecticut Open is underway. Anthony Casalino, an assistant pro from Innis Arden Golf Club in Greenwich, was your leader when the first round finally finished this morning following play being suspended due to inclement weather last night. He held a one-shot lead over defending champion Cody Palladino. William Street, currently in third place at -3, rounds out the group of golfers that are the only group of golfers that were currently under par. The 3 leaders are all expected to tee off after 2:15. We'll have more on the final results tomorrow on our show when Dave Stewart comes on and joins us. But actually, Don, I'm checking the leaderboard right now, and I would like to make a change. Greg Riley Jr. out of the Country Club of Darien has jumped back up into red numbers. He's currently -1. He is +1 on the round today. He finished yesterday's round -2 with a score of 69. So Greg only 4 off the pace now with about 6 holes to go. The Ballo brothers, Mike Ballo Jr. and Peter Ballo, are having a lot of success. There are about 10 to 12 former and current FCAC players who are playing in this tournament, Don. They're in the mix right now, but it's a little bit of separation at the top.
There really is, and that's one of the great things about golf. We don't really talk about it too often, but the great thing about a sport like golf, you have the PGA Championships. That is a major tournament, one of the 4 biggest tournaments of the year for the Professional Golfers Tour, and players that are club pros or club instructors, things like that, they have a chance to play their way into the biggest tournament in the biggest tournaments in the world. So that's kind of a neat aspect. We think of golf as being kind of like an elite sport, but in many ways it's very democratic. Someone that's working at a country club can play their way into the U.S. Open or the PGA Championships. So it's always fun to watch.
And it was a lot of credit. Anthony Casalino got a bit of a break. He finished his round before the weather stopped playing, not once but twice yesterday before suspending it. A lot of the guys on the course had to come back after last night and finish their first round this morning before a quick turnaround and start the second round. It's one of the cooler things about the game of golf, that the weather can play such a huge role, and it really puts you up against the elements. But give a lot of credit to the staff and grounds crew at Woodway Country Club. They've done a tremendous job. The course is in incredible shape, and it's been a great tournament. So we look forward to having hopefully some pictures and more coverage from Dave Stewart tomorrow when we'll have a full wrap-up of that tournament.
And speaking of competitors out on the course, Drew Thompson of Fairfield Prep and Kate Romanchik of Trumbull High were the overall male and female winners in this year's Trumbull Rotary Sunset Run at Twin Brooks Park, July 22nd. Thompson is a Trumbull native. He completed the 5K in 16 minutes 35 seconds, just edging out Tim Milenkovic of Ansonia at 16:38. On the women's side, Romanchik led wire-to-wire, finishing just under 20 minutes, time of 19 minutes 25 seconds. Shelton's Lisa Lafferty came in second at 22 minutes 22 seconds. And also, the Trumbull High School girls cross-country team was the top team finishing in the Sunset Run. There they are right there. So a good thing out, big fun out in Trumbull. Not ideal conditions, even though it was a 6 o'clock start. The temperature was still about 95 degrees, which is about 30 degrees hotter than runners like it, but a good turnout and a great event.
I heard there were a couple hundred competitors along with a couple hundred more residents who came out. The residents who were on the course were using sprinklers to cool off the runners as they ran by. So it sounded like it was a lot of fun and a great event.
It really is a lot of fun, and it's a great fundraiser. If you're not really familiar with Rotary, they do a lot of great things out in the community, and this was a really big a really big event for them every year in Trumbull.
And also on the competitive edge here, we look, a local Greenwich teenager has just missed out on his Olympic dreams after just missing at the Olympic trials in 3 events. Jack Montesi, a member of the Chelsea Piers swim team and former Greenwich Cardinal, competed in the 100 and 200 meter fly event along with the 100-meter backstroke. Jack is the only swimmer in the state who qualified for 3 events and currently holds the state record for the 100-meter fly, 100-meter freestyle, and the 100-meter backstroke. Greenwich High School senior won every single individual event he competed in during the 2015-16 season and led Greenwich to the triple crown of swimming, capturing the FCAC Class LL and State Open championships for the 4th straight season. Jack will begin his swimming career at the University of Notre Dame coming this fall. And Don, before we get to how incredible it was that Montesi is able to qualify for 3 Olympic events, let's talk about 4 years in a row accomplishing the Triple Crown.
Right. Well, you talk about, when you talk dynasties, we've talked about, in the last 10 years or so, you've seen Fairfield Prep Hockey get on a run, win a couple of championships, Darien football going back to back. Greenwich Swimming is the dynasty in Connecticut. Greenwich Swimming and maybe Danbury Wrestling, but they are the dynasties in Connecticut high school athletics.
And it really is incredible. And it's, first of all, for Jack to win every individual event that he competes in is one thing, but it's the leadership that he brings, that presence he brings. And now you talk about him, he just missed out at the Olympic qualifiers, and his Olympic career is far from over. He's only 17 years old. He's going to Notre Dame in the fall. He will have a great collegiate career, and we will see him again in 4 years at the next Olympic qualifiers and expect to see him on that roster. I truly believe that. Right.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, 4 years, you really can't discount 4 years working with a world-class strength and conditioning and nutrition coaches in college. You expect him 4 years from now to be to be faster, stronger, just a better athlete in every way.
And we will without a doubt see him at U.S. National Championships as the years go on. We'll see him at any of the World Championships that he'll still be able to qualify for during his collegiate career. But he just missed out, and it's frustrating to hear right now. But congrats to all his success again, and we wish Jack the best of luck this upcoming year at the University of Notre Dame. We'll step aside one more time here on Nutmeg Sports, but when Don and I get back, we move over to the baseball diamond as we take a look at the All-Star playoff races that are going on right here on the HAN Network.
Keep your future star active and happy this summer at Future Star Sports Academy camps and clinics. The Academy is offering sessions throughout Fairfield County. Sign up for a week of basketball, cheerleading, football, or a multi-sports camp. At Future Stars Academy, children learn the fundamentals while under the supervision of qualified coaches. And what sets the Academy apart is its special Lessons of Life sessions, teaching values and focusing on building self-esteem, friendships, and honesty. Located at Sports Center Connecticut in Shelton and in Sports in Trumbull. Register online at FutureStarsSportsAcademy.com.
Warm weather, light breezes, boats are in the water. There's no better place to celebrate summer than the Dock Shop. Whether in Darien at 51 Tokenique Road or Westport at 609 Riverside Avenue, the Dock Shop is where you'll find everything you need to kick off summer. From the latest summer apparel to the newest fishing tackle, the Dock Shop will help you get the most out of your next beach day or harbor cruise. At the Dock Shop, you'll find a wonderful selection of items made in the USA and right here in New England, all with a distinct nautical flair. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the coastal lifestyle, this is a unique place to shop. DockShop.com.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
And we welcome you back to Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network. It is Tuesday, July 26th. Frank Granito, Donald Eng standing in studio today as we move our focus over to the baseball diamond. We've got a lot of local all-star teams in action that are deep in their playoff races. But before we get to that, Don, we had a pretty cool event down at Harbor Yard on Sunday night. What can you tell us?
Well, it is always fun. It was the third annual Battle of the Sexes, Bridgeport Bluefish versus the Stratford Breakettes, the multi-time national championship women's softball team. The Bluefish beat the Breakettes 3-1 in the third annual Battle of the Sexes. The Fish have won all three of these annual softball games played in Bridgeport every year, winning last year 7-3 and having a 2-1 victory in the inaugural matchup 2 years ago. This game actually was a close game throughout. The Bluefish scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to take the win. The Breakettes got things going early. Emily Lockton went yard in the top of the 2nd inning, putting the visitors up 1-0. Bridgeport got a run of their own in the bottom half of the 3rd. Anthony Oresco with a fly ball over the center field wall to knot the game at 1. Lockton had 4 hits for the Breakettes. Oresco had a pair of hits for Bridgeport, and I'm trying to think. Nick French struck out 14 Breakettes. He's kind of a men's fast pitch pitcher that the Bluefish bring in to face the Breakettes. So they play softball rules with softball fences. Breakettes versus Bluefish, and the Bluefish took the win this year 3-1. So now the Breakettes now getting ready to host their annual women's major fast pitch tournament in Stratford, and the Bluefish now also continue their season. So a really fun event. Also, it's when you get a team like the Breakettes, an amateur team, they depend on these events like this to fundraise every year. So it's good to see it, and it's a really good competitive game.
It is, and it's a fun event to go out to. It was perfect weather Sunday night for it as well. Sounded like it was a blast. So congrats to the Bluefish and the Breakettes. Keep your heads up. One of these years, they're breaking through. They've got it. They've been so close. As I said, the walk-off loss 2-1 in year 1, and then surrendering 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, which actually for the Breakettes would have been almost an extra inning game because they traditionally play 7. But one of these years, and they want to win too. Oh.
They play hard. It's fun.
It is, but a lot of fun there. Shifting gears now, we come back to some of our local teams. Up in Worcester, Massachusetts, the Stanford 18U Thunder, Babe Ruth Baseball All-Stars, won their opening contest at the New England Regional Tournament by defeating Western Massachusetts 3-1. Bradley Papp earned the victory on the mound, allowing 1 run on 5 hits while striking out 4 and walking 2 over 7 innings. The All-Stars advanced in the tournament's winner bracket and now await their next opponent to be determined tomorrow.
Right, and also we've got some of the other Little League action here. The Norwalk 10-year-old All-Stars are going to play the Cal Ripken World Series in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, starting on Friday, August 5th. The Norwalk boys cruise through the regionals and actually have yet to lose a game this summer, and they're going to be matching up with the best of all the other 49 states there. Also, the Connecticut Little League Finals is the Connecticut Little League State Tournament gets underway starting tomorrow. The 4 teams are Fairfield American out of District 2, Berlin out of District 5, Coggins from District 9, that is the Durham Middlefield Co-op, and then the Brooklyn Pomfret Eastford Co-op, that's District 12 champions. That rounds out the 4-team field. The opening round of games is tomorrow. Fairfield American versus Berlin. Game 2 is Coggins versus Brooklyn Pomfret, and then the winners bracket final is Thursday with the Game 1 versus Game 2 winner. You also have the elimination bracket Thursday also, the Game 1 loser versus the Game 2 loser. So it's a double elimination tournament. Even if you lose your first round game, you do have a chance to kind of win the rest of your games in tournament play and get back another crack at that winner's bracket winner. So that gets underway tomorrow.
And that was the same type of tournament it was for the sectionals. Fairfield American actually got into that tournament, beating Stanford North in Section 1. It was a really great game, that championship game, and a great tournament. So that now will determine who will represent Connecticut in the regionals before heading off to Williamsport for the Little League World Series, which is 22 days away as the countdown is on.
You got the Little League calendar. You open a little door every morning.
We do. We got a couple friends. We like to do brackets for the Little League World Series. We get a little bit into it. It's a lot of fun. But
well, this is a great chance to do some scouting, get some information.
This is it. Why do you think I took this job? That's going to do it all, though, Don. I think we're out of time here today.
Looks that way.
But I want to thank you for coming on. We'll have Dave Stewart in studio with us tomorrow. We'll have a full wrap-up of the Connecticut Open. We hope that Greenwich head football coach Johnny Marinelli will be calling in to talk with us about some of the 7-on-7 success they've had this summer, as well as the camps that they've got going on right now with their teams. For Donald Eng, I'm Frank Granito. I want to thank you for watching Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network.